Please put your hands together for Jennifer.
I'm professional. I'm chewing gum on stage. Hi. Before I tell like my embarrassing lady story, I guess I can talk in this too. My embarrassing lady story. I want to take note that when you're like buying drugs and you're like you want to buy drugs and you're like trying to look like if you want to buy weed, you look for the guy that's wearing sunglasses inside. So that's where you get it. But I'm not a weed smoker. Since it's closed doors, we're all friends. I know there's cameras rolling, but they can cut this out. I'm not a weed smoker. I love cocaine. I like yak. And like the way I can spot a yacked out person is when I can hear this. I'm like, we're indoors, we're not outdoors. Allergy seasons aren't inside. And instantly when I hear that, I get really excited. But I'm trying to be a lady. I hear you back there. I'm not making eye contact with him, but I know I can feel him staring at me. And I know I'm going to talk to him after the show. My embarrassing lady story, I'm in a new relationship, and the first time that we did it, like we had sex, which was awesome. But the unfortunate thing was afterwards, I caught a really bad fever and like I had a sore throat and stuff, and my mom, she took me to urgent care, and they were checking me. She already gave away the fucking punchline. Bitch. She took me to urgent care, and we went to the doctors, and they were checking me, and like they're telling me, oh, you have a fever, you have a sore throat. Are your ears inflamed? Like, are they infected as well? Because usually, if you have a sore throat, your ears are also inflamed. Like, no, my ears are fine. They tested me for mono. I didn't have mono. They tested me for strep. I didn't have strep. And they told me to open my mouth, and I opened it, and they're like, dude, you have strep. I'm like, okay. And then, so the doctor's like giving me a prescription, like some drugs, and I was like, oh, I don't want him to misdiagnose me. I'm like, I sucked a dirty dick. That's what I did. My mom's like, you whore. And I'm like, I know. And it wasn't like a dirty dick, like STD, because I'm clean. That could be a joke or not, whatever, you take it as it is. But he was clean. What I mean a big dirty dick, it was like he hasn't showered. It smelled like a white man's armpit. You know what I'm saying? That's what it smelled like. Oh, man. My mom was like the whole drive home, and I was like, I swear I was so high from the drugs. My mom's like, what? You're sucking dicks? I'm like, didn't you when you were my age? So I'm in a new relationship, and it's really cool. And the coolest part is he's white. And what? He's just jealous because he's not white. And I know what I am. I'm a minority. You know? I'm Filipino. Like, being Filipino is like, if you don't know what it is, it's like being the Mexicans for the Asians. Like, no one really wants you in your land unless you clean or do landscaping. That's what my people are like. But having a white boyfriend, I feel like I have like a white pass, like a card. Like a white, I feel like I'm somewhat closer to the superior race, but not really. Like I can go to like Mississippi or something and like walk into like a skinhead hoedown and like, hey guys! And they're like, the music stops and everyone stops dancing. I'm like, don't worry, I got my ticket, my boyfriend. Don't worry. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, it's okay. He's a cool guy. Minority, that word is really, like, people don't use minority to its true sense. Usually they use minority, like, if you have a slight tint to your skin, they're like, you're a minority. And I went to a restaurant in Mesa, and I didn't realize this until some white guy pointed it out. But like there was like blacks and Native Americans and Mexicans and Asians, and this white guy walks in, and then he turns to his friend and he's like, dude, there's like a lot of minorities here. I'm like, no, you're the minority in this case, bro. Like, get out. How could you say that? So dumb. Think. He's cool. He's a cool guy. But we're at the point. Oh yeah, here's another thing. Like being Filipino and like dating a white guy. Like women in my country, like they will do anything to come to America. They will sell their bodies and like to an American white guy and hoping that their pussies are magic and they'll fall in love and they'll go to America. And like I take that for granted because I don't have to work that hard. I can just go to like a bar and like walk up to some middle-aged white guy, do one of these, and say like, "Oh, I go to ASU," and instantly he's in love. Like that's it. No, but it's cool. My boyfriend and I were at that stage where we're at that level where we feel really comfortable with each other. Like we can like hold each other, embrace each other's farts. You know, I embrace them, but I don't fucking like them. His farts are I can smell his farts before it leaves his asshole. That's how strong they are. I can, like, who knew that smell can travel faster than sound? He just redefined some law of physics. That's what he did. His farts are nasty. He would do this thing where he'll like pin me in a corner and like he'll call it his fart den. And he's like super skinny and white and awkward and he's like, "Welcome to the fart den, make some noise." I'm like, "Please don't make some noise. I don't want to smell it." And he'll lay one on me. I'm like, I think you just recreate Vietnam War in your pants. Because honestly, with that air dump, you can annihilate the whole country. That's what you can do. He's a cool guy. That's love right there. That's love. He doesn't even know that I'm talking about this. He's like, "Oh, please don't talk about me." I'm like, "I am. Don't." My mom gives me a hard time because she wants me to date my own kind. She wants me to date another Filipino. I'm like, but that's sort of like incest. I can't. Like, that's cool. That's why I I love interracial. First of all, the word interracial doesn't match. It should be like extra-racial or something. But I love interracial relationships. And like, that's cool if you like your own kind. But like for me, it's like fucking my brother, and that's a no on that. She gives me a hard time. Last Saturday, I had to spend time with her because I didn't have gas money on me. And she was like, "Jen, why don't you bring a package of bottled water with you?" Because I live in Mesa. Okay, the water system in Mesa tastes like a bunch of homeless people bathed in it. That's what it smelled like, tastes like. I was like, "Mom, I'm used to the homeless people water." She's like, "Jen, you're gonna get a worm in your stomach." I'm like, "Good, maybe that worm will eat whatever I'm eating, and then I'll finally be the size anorexia I've always wanted to be, and then I'll die." And she goes, "Good. Then your coffin will be small, we won't have to pay as much. So go ahead and kill yourself." I'm like, okay. I'm trying to be a better person, you guys. So I went to a strip club to reevaluate my life. Strictly for pleasure, not for an application. I went in there with, first of all, I was the Dream Palace. Has anyone? Yeah, you like it. Oh shit, exactly. That's what I said when I walked in. I'm like walking like this because I'm afraid I'm like catching STD just walking on the floor. I went in there with $10 in ones, not enough to make it rain, but just enough to be polite with the ladies. And this one there's this one stripper. She was like, "I'm like, pretend this is real time, and I'm Crystal and you're me. Because I'm on stage and you're where I would be." And she was crawling like on all fours, just like, you know, really like sexy, like crawling on me. And she did like a handstand in between my legs and she shook her Death Valley. You know, her pussy ass crack. I'm like, all right, that smell a little yeasty, like she's got some bread baking up in there. So I was like, all right, bitch, here's $1. All right, bitch, here's $1. Never in my life would I ever say that. I wouldn't even say that to a homeless person, let alone a stripper. All right, bitch, here's $1. I used to be Mormon. Does anyone know? Prison? Yeah, that's what it's called. That's what it is. Prison. I didn't smoke, I didn't drink, I didn't curse, I didn't masturbate, I didn't fart. I did it. I used to care about people, now I don't. I was at a coffee shop and some guy was talking at my face. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't care, but like, of course I have to be like normal, like a normal person, so I'm like, smiling and nodding. And he's talking and smiling and nodding. I can fucking feel like my spinal fluid's boiling and like the back of my neck muscles tensing. And like all the while I'm just like fucking boring! Like no one cares! No one cares about Creed! Cristofano, your name is Christopher, you're in America. That's what I gotta say about that. Well, that was my closer, but I'm not gonna close with that. When I was really high on drugs, when I was sick, I know, but it was sick. I'm not talking about my cocaine reference, I'm talking about my fever reference. When I'm on cocaine, it's a different story. It's like, I just want to just rule the world. But when I was sick and I had a fever, I was just so lucid and I had like weird thoughts. I couldn't, because I talk about things that actually happened in my life, and since I was stuck in the house for 5 days, I didn't know what to talk about. I didn't know what to write. So I was high on these drugs and I was like, fuck. And so I had weird shit like, oh, I love going to the thrift store, because I love it when guys hit on me, because who knew that being someone's leftovers could be so trendy? Fucking shit like that. Or like, I'm a shitty driver, and like my max comfortable speed is 35 miles per hour at a school zone, but I'm not the only one. 35 miles per hour at a school zone is not fast enough for a pedophile, especially during recess.